Welcome back, Pokemon Trainers. Professor Chaz here. The lab coat's on back order. Now, I'm going to bring you another Pokemon TCG Live online match today. And I just want to take a moment to say that I've been getting a lot of good responses from people and good feedback saying that I'm providing good information on the TCG, helping people come up with strategies, and just providing generally good information to you guys as I do these videos. And that's really encouraging, and I really like it. But I feel horrible. I lost last week's match. I was trying to make the mill deck with Ninjask, and I didn't come through for you guys. I want to show you successful strategies, and I fell short. So I'm making it my mission to do better this week. So I have play-tested a new deck, a new strategy in mind. I have play-tested and play-tested and play-tested. I have tweaked the deck here and there. I want to make this a winning deck that you guys can consider using or altering to your own strategies. This deck is going to focus on a Pokemon released in the Ancient Origins expansion, Whimsicott. Now, when I opened, I think, just like a few random booster packs I got when I got the theme decks, as soon as I saw this Whimsicott, I saw real power in its first attack. For 1 Fairy Energy, Whimsicott can do the Windy Mischief attack, which says to move all damage counters from one of your bench Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. You're getting a full heal for your own Pokemon and putting that damage on the opponent. Now, what I'm going to do is combine this Whimsicott strategy with the Dusknoir from Flashfire. Dusknoir is a Stage 2 Psychic Pokemon with the ability, I forget what it's called, Shadow Void, I think? It says, as often as you like during your turn, you can move 1 damage counter from one of your Pokemon to Dusknoir. So, the strategy is going to be absorbing all damage from the rest of your team to Dusknoir and having Whimsicott move that damage to the opponent, hopefully getting some knockouts. Now, there's a few other strategies in mind with this deck. Let's take a look at the cards, and I'll talk you through it, and we'll see if we can actually get into a winning match this week. Let's get started. So let's take a look at the crazy concoction I put together here in what I call the Mischief deck. So it's going to focus on, as the name implies, and as I already said, Whimsicott right here from Ancient Origins with the Windy Mischief attack. Move all damage counters from one of your bench Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. So I've got 3 of these in the deck for caught and need to get them into play. And to go along with this strategy, we're going to go and include 2 of these Dusknoir from Flashfire. So Shadow Void, as often as you like during your turn, before your attack, you may move 1 damage counter from one of your Pokemon to this Pokemon. Its attack is pretty decent as well, for a Psychic and 2 colorless. Pain Pellets says to put damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon equal to the number of damage counters on this Pokemon. So, in a pinch, what you can do is after you've absorbed a lot of damage and you're, if you haven't moved it yet to your opponent's Pokemon, Dusknoir can actually just replicate that damage on the opponent. You'll still have it on Dusknoir so that Whimsicott can move it on a later turn. So there's 2 Dusknoir, 3 Dusclops, and 4 Duskull in the deck, and that's going to round out our deck with 16 Pokemon. We'll get the trainer cards in a moment. We're just going to scroll down to the energy first and get that out of the way. We're including 1 Mystery Energy. It's going to help with the retreat cost of Psychic Pokemon. We have a Wonder Energy. It's going to supply Fairy Energy for Windy Mischief, as well as preventing all special effects of attacks done to the Fairy Pokemon it's attached to. And I can't see the number. We've got 7 Basic Fairy Energy and 3 Basic Psychic. So, for the most part, you're not going to be using your attack with Dusknoir. It's mostly going to be Whimsicott doing the attacking. But, like I said, in a pinch, the Duskull, Dusclops, Dusknoir line can at least do some damage back. So looking at the trainer cards, we've got an Escape Rope, we've got 2 Evo Soda, 2 Level Balls, 2 Professor's Letters, 1 Switch card, 1 Trainer's Mail. I'm including 2 Lysandres in the deck this time so that we can manipulate the opponent's field a little bit more. Now, healing is not going to be an important thing in this because the actual healing is going to come from Windy Mischief. But to help us get set up in the match, we might want to do some healing leading into the initial setup. So I got the Pokemon Center Lady to heal 60 damage and special conditions from one of your Pokemon. So you can even use that if you just need to get rid of Confusion or Poison or something like that. We do have a Pokemon Fan Club to get your basics into play. And as I was playtesting the deck over and over, I found I kept decking out really fast because I have 3 Professor Sycamores here, discarding your hand to draw 7 fresh cards. So I decided I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking, and I included a couple of Professor Birch's observations. So it's basically kind of similar to Sycamore, except you're going to shuffle your hand into your deck, and on a coin flip of heads, you get to draw 7. If you flip tails, you only draw 4, but you're not really losing out too much. So he's here to keep us from decking out a little bit. We do have 2 Tiernos to draw 3 additional cards when you play it. And I got a couple Zero Stick to make the opponent lose either a tool card or a special energy card. And I did have 2 of each of these stadiums, Dimension Valley and the Fairy Garden, but I decided to swap it out a little bit. I got this just in case we need to get a Dusknoir to attack and we don't have enough energy in play. Fairy Garden is going to help you move your Pokemon around if they have Fairy energy attached. They're going to have no retreat cost. But I did include a couple of the training centers. I found that Whimsicott has just 70 HP, which is pretty low for a Stage 1 Pokemon. You want to give it a little bit more HP because it's going to be on the front line for the most part. If it takes too much damage, it's going to faint, and this strategy will fall. So, with a training center in play, it's going to have a maximum of 100 HP. And we're going to be using a few of these hard charms to try to keep it from fainting as well. The crucial thing with these hard charms, you have to know right when to play them, because if you play them too soon, your opponent will suddenly be doing less damage to your Whimsicott. You're not going to have many damage counters to manipulate using the Shadow Void, so it's going to slow the game down, and that's, I think, what led to me decking out during the playtesting. This might have also led to me decking out the Lucky Helmet, but at the beginning of the match, this is good to attach to your Pokemon to help you get the cards you need. And at any point, if you find that you're getting a little too low and your opponent keeps hitting your Lucky Helmet, you can always just use Zero Stick to get rid of your own tool card, and maybe throw a Hard Charm on in place of it. Now, I learned my lesson from last week that Charizard-EX just tore through my Grass team. I want to include a couple of these jamming nets. This is the Team Flare Hyper Gear. You attach it to an opposing Pokemon EX. So this is back from the Phantom Forces expansion. The first and so far only tool card. There's another one as well, the Headringer, but these are the first ones you actually attach to an opposing Pokemon. And there's a specific description down here. It says, when the card is removed from a Pokemon for any reason, you put this card in its owner's discard pile. I remember there was some interesting thought of, there's a tool retriever that says, take tools that are attached to your Pokemon and put them into your hand, but based on the wording of the Hyper Gear itself here, the jamming net, as soon as it removes from the Pokemon, you discard it to the owner's card or owner's discard pile. So that is a basic rundown of the deck. Again, strategy is to try to get your Whimsicott and Dusknoir into play, manipulate your damage counters, and launch them all at the opponent. If you have 2 Dusknoir in play, that gives you a lot more versatility on how to manipulate the damage. If your opponent is like 30 HP away from fainting, and this Dusknoir has 60, you can actually take this Dusknoir to absorb 30 damage from the other one. Then Windy Mischief will put 30 from either of them onto the opponent. You'll still have 30 more damage on the other one to be able to put onto another opponent Pokemon. So, that's enough rambling from me. We're going to get into a match and see if we can actually pull out a victory using the Whimsicott deck. And my opponent has been found, Vipers 308. So we're going to get the coin flip. We'll choose heads because it's the fancier side of the coin. And we do get heads. Okay, we'll take the first turn. So let's see if we can get myself set up. We start with a Duskull, and we have the entire Dusknoir line in hand. That's not bad. So we do have a level ball. First, let's try the Trainer's Mail, see what we get off of this. An Escape Rope. Well, not the best. I was hoping for a Pokemon fan club, perhaps. But we're going to play that level ball. We're going to find ourselves a Cottony. We're going to drop that down to the bench. And let's attach the Mystery Energy to the Duskull. And end the turn right there. So my opponent has started with a Nidoran female. I believe it's from the Primal Clash set. Yes. The Dimension Valley has been played, so all Psychic Pokemon can use their attacks for 1 colorless energy less. Interesting enough, we do have a Dusclops, who can now use Curse Drop. But let's play the Duskull here. We're going to attach another Psychic Energy to the Dusclops. And let's use that Curse Drop to place 4 damage counters on my opponent's Pokemon in any way I like. I'm going to choose to put 4 on Nidoran. I really don't have another option, so that's what I'm going for. And if the opponent can't get any more basics into play, this could be the end of the match already. I don't know how much HP Nidorina has. But apparently it's 90, so it's not going to end the game just yet. However, this will. Wait, what am I thinking? No, I'm not. Oh, I was getting all arrogant for nothing. Alright, so we are going to be able to use the Pain Pellets, which is going to let us place an equal number of damage counters on the opponent as Dusknoir has. So 4 more added. Nidorina is down to 10 HP left. course, now we're going to see Nidoqueen in play. This has gotten interesting. Ooh, Ancient Trait Nidoqueen. Poison Jab and Dynamite Punch, 30 damage. And I'm assuming it causes poison? Yes, it does. Oh, they get to attack twice, I forgot. Omega Barrage. Okay. So, we're pretty much done anyway. It's just Pain Pellets. Putting a massive amount of damage on the Nidoqueen. Down it goes. Well, this is one quick match. Victory for the Whimsicott and Dusknoir side. Not much of a match. Let's see if we can get another match, actually. We didn't get to show off the deck that much just yet. We got a lot of tokens. So Whimsicott and Golurk are up against the A12's QSD, I was going to say squad. So, coin flip says tails, the opponent gets a choice of who's going to go first, and I guess I've been chosen. So we see a Delphox, fire, water, energy. The opponent has mulligan, so you can take a look at their hand. We see I'm starting with a couple of Duskull, another mulligan, so fairy as well. An interesting mixture of energies. So a third mulligan. Finally we have a game beginning. Sometimes that happens, you get like multiple mulligans in a row. I think I had like 5 one time in the actual card game. And yeah, I'm going to draw some extra cards. Why not? Let's add a Cottony onto the bench. So we see Charizard-EX is active. Let's see if we can use the Trainer's Mail to find ourselves one of those jamming nets. No. But we do have a fan club. Might as well get that here. And we're going to play that one. Let's get another Cottony and Duskull. Let's just load up the bench. The question is, who do I attach this first energy of the game to? I'd rather not have that Charizard stay active. I'm going to use the escape rope and swap them out. And bring up Duskull. Now let's give the... Well, let's hang on to that mystery energy for the time being. They might have something that discards special energies. For example, the Derail attack. But they might actually have like a Zero Sick or something. So I'm going to attach a basic energy to a benched Cottony. I'm going to end my turn there. Thing about tools and special energies, you want to try to use them, or try to attach them the turn you're going to use them, because your opponent might have some way of getting rid of them before you get a chance to do anything with them. So the turn is back to me, and we're going to attach regular Psychic Energy and evolve into Dusclops. We're also going to evolve Whimsicott on the bench. Now, I could use Lysandre to bring up one of these Charizard, use the Confuse Ray on them, but I'd rather not have them take the chance of getting to use their Stoke attack, which will power them up faster. Let's just do a Confuse Ray on the Bouffalant. Now we're going to want to take some damage with Dusclops, but if this Bouffalant does power up completely, we're going to take 80 damage, and Dusclops has 80 HP. We're going to lose it immediately. Another Lysandre. They're just tempting us to do this. Huh. Well, let's put a Fairy Energy on Dusclops. And end the turn. Next turn, I might actually want to bring up one of those Charizard. So here we're in an interesting spot. We're going to attach Mystery Energy. Now we are powered up to use Curse Drop. Let's put 4 damage counters on my opponent's Pokemon in any way I like. Let's put them all on this Charizard that's powering up so nicely on the bench. All 4 have been placed. Okay. This is a real mind game. What could the opponent do to offset this? Of course, I could just do some sort of a healing thing like Freshwater Set, Super Potion, and something along those lines. I'm going to withdraw that Fire Energy and attach another Fire Energy. I wonder if that was just a misclick. So, since I'm a little worried, we're going to put a Hard Charm on Dusclops. Actually, no. If this Charizard comes up, Hard Charm's not going to make a dent in the damage it's going to inflict on us. So let us attach a Psychic Energy to... I'm hesitant to use this right now because we might need to replace it on Dusclops if they somehow get rid of the Mystery Energy. But we do have Dimension Valley in the deck. We can make use of that if necessary. Let's do another Curse Drop and try and inflict more damage on this Charizard before it gets the chance to take the active spot. Alright. Down to 100 HP remaining. Now Tierna will grab 3 more cards for my opponent. Got 2 energy on the Bouffalont now, which is enough to retreat. Now Charizard isn't powered up yet to be able to fight. That's the important thing. And I can just confuse Ray if I need to, which I might want to do because it is now powered up. Thanks to that Heads on the Stoke, they get to search for 3 basic energy cards from the deck and attach them right to Charizard. Although, time to use the Lysandre. Come on back up, Bouffalont. We're not done with you yet. Alright, Curse Drop, 4 more on the Charizard on the bench. If we're lucky enough to take this thing out, we take a lot of energy down with it. I'm just going to do 2 more of those Curse Drops. Watch them pull out a switch card, that'd be something. But they are trying to power up to get another retreat cost paid for. This has a retreat of 1, this has a retreat of 2. It might be a little crazy, but I'm going to bring up this Charizard. Because they're still going to need to attach 2 energy to pay for that retreat cost, and we're going to do a Curse Drop onto the Charizard on the bench. Alright, we just need to do 2 more damage counters on that Charizard-EX, and we have it down. So not really using the strategy that I had in mind of taking damage and absorbing, so we haven't actually gotten our Dusknoir into play just yet. And the opponent plays a Lysandre. Hello, switch card. I can make good use of you. Now, will they get the Stoke with this one? They do. That's a little unfortunate for us. So this Charizard is also powered up. Nothing but fire energy on that one. What can we do to sort of offset what's about to happen? Not really too much. We're just going to switch it up, bring our Dusclops back to the active. And let's just go right on ahead and do a Curse Drop. I'm going to put 2 on this Charizard. 2 on... I'm going to go for broke. Go for the EXs first. So down goes the bench Charizard-EX. We're going to gain 2 prizes off of this one. Find a Dusknoir. 1 turn too late, unfortunately. We're about to lose our active Dusclops. And Blacksmith. Okay, so this Charizard's powered up for Fire Blast for weeks to come. Or at least 3 turns. If only we'd find that jamming net, except it's not really going to make that much of a difference, I don't think. So down goes Dusclops number 1. Who do we send up? No one can really do anything at this point. I'm going to sacrifice a Duskull. Tierno, please give us something useful. Another Whimsicott. We're going to might as well evolve that one. Let's grab a couple more basic energy out of the deck. Psychic and Fairy. If we could somehow get another Dusclops into play, we could get Dusknoir doing something. We have energy attached. We're going to put a Hard Charm on it. Let's just end the turn there. Let this Charizard burn through some of its fire energy cards. Now, if we can somehow survive like 21 more turns, the opponent will deck out before we do. Do I see that happening? Not particularly. But that is one way the match could end. Let's bring up this Whimsicott because it does have energy attached. We can retreat it if we need to. Although it's not going to make much difference at all. We're going to get off as much damage as we can. We're going to do a rolling tackle. 50 big damage counters on that Charizard-EX. That is making such a difference in this match. Sometimes I like to be a little sarcastic when I'm really, really losing and trying to talk myself up a little bit. Don't mind me. It's quite obvious I'm in a bad spot at this point. Well, Whimsicott, go on up there. We're going to need to drop a couple more basic Pokemon to take some hits. And pass the turn. This Charizard is sweeping us at this point, unfortunately. There's nothing much we can do. There's the good old Blacksmith. Blacksmith works really well with this Charizard-EX. You get to retrieve two basic fire energy from your discard pile right back onto it. And then it's getting knockout after knockout, turn after turn. Alright, one last Pokemon to take a hit, and then with the opponent going to be down to one final prize card, there's not much more we can do. But let's go ahead and go with the Cotton Bed. 10 slight damage, but it does put Charizard to sleep. Now, if we're lucky with the coin flip, they won't be able to fight us. Alright, Charizard stays asleep. That is something slightly in our favor. If they have a Pokemon Center lady, this is all for naught, but I don't see one yet. Pyroar has been played to the bench, and it's got the intimidating main ability which says basic Pokemon cannot do any damage to it whatsoever. Charizard stays asleep. Alright, this might not turn the game around completely, but we might have a chance to do something in this. Let's get another light slap of Cotton Bed damage off on this Charizard. Does it stay asleep? It does not stay asleep this turn. Alright, Cottony, you've done your best for this current match. You're going to have to go find yourself a nice soft Cotton Bed over in the discard pile. There's already plenty of Cottony and Whimsicott to soften the blow for you anyway. Alright, this is it. Moment of truth. Duskull, it's all up to you. Evo Soda. Do we get Dusknoir to confuse? We do get Dusknoir. Alright, confusion. Will this make the difference in the fight? We are still 4 prizes to go. They are 1 prize away from winning. There's no telling what's going to happen at the end of this. So they did power it up. We can also do the Curse Drop and do 40 damage on any of their Pokemon. Oh, they're going to retreat. Okay. I should have seen this coming. Articuno is going to be able to use Freezing Wind and do 100 minus 20 for the Heart Charm. Just enough damage. Down goes Dusclops. Final prize of the game. Alright, the A12, I'm going to say squad. The A12 squad has defeated the Dusknoir and Whimsicott deck. Very unfortunate for our side, but a well-played game on my opponent's side. They just had better control of their energies, and they had some Charizard-EXs too. Let's not discount that. And so, unfortunately, that's another kind of off-the-wall idea I came up with that didn't seem to pan out, at least not with the card arrangements that I went with for this particular deck. I know off the top of my head, one thing that you could think to include would be this particular Pokemon here, Zapdos. The Raging Thunder does 120, and it does 40 to one of your own benched Pokemon. So you could start racking up damage on your own side, while dishing out some serious damage back at the opponent, and then you could try to go for perhaps the Dusknoir and Whimsicott combination of moving damage from your bench to the opposing active Pokemon. So, aside from doing something like that, I can't think of many other ways to make this deck any more better than it currently is. It's just, sometimes you're fighting the EX Pokemon that have such high HP, you're not going to be able to do enough damage with the Pain Pellets or the Windy Mischief to be able to knock out those Pokemon before they're going to power up and take you out in return. So, again, one of my crazy ideas I came up with. It could be reworked sometime. I'm not giving up on this idea completely. I can come back to this deck at some point and try to do something else with it. But I've got a couple other crazy ideas for future videos for the next couple weeks. And we'll see if they pan out. One of them includes going with the Porygon with the ancient trait. It's got the, I think it's called Digital Reboot. Actually, let me see if I can find it. Digital Reboot, I believe. It allows you to de-evolve your own Pokemon. Porygon. Right here, yep. So I might try to do something with this. The idea I have in mind with this is relating to the Zubat, Golbat, and Crobat line from Phantom Forces, which say when you play these Pokemon from hand, you can put damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon. So I might try to do that, because you can just devolve those Crobat back into Golbat, and actually all the way down to Zubat if you want to, and then play them again next turn. So we'll see if we can pull out another unorthodox strategy, and hopefully get a win next time. But until that time, we're going to end it off here with the Whimsicott and Dusknoir deck. We'll give them better, wishes for better luck next time, and we'll see what happens in their future. Alright, as for you, thanks for checking out this video. If you do know of any particular cards from the new Ancient Origins set that you would like to see a TCG Online video themed around, leave that in a comment down below, and also let me know what you thought of my gameplay today. I'm sure it was terrible, but we all learn from our mistakes, and I've learned this deck doesn't work as well as it is right now. So if you have any suggestions on how this deck could possibly work a little bit better, feel free to leave that in a comment down below as well. And for the time being, we're just going to end this off here. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll catch you next time.